In the quiet before dawn, on a radar screen somewhere in the Middle East, a cluster of slow-moving targets appears. This is the scene confronting American forces with a frustratingly simple threat: the Shahed 136 drone. It is a weapon that now appears in attack reports against billion-dollar assets, from the Boeing E-3 Sentry Command aircraft to the sophisticated radars linked to THAAD and the MIM-104 Patriot missile systems. A weapon considered cheap is, ironically, forcing the world's most advanced defenses to operate at their absolute limits. When the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps unveiled hundreds of these units in a vast underground facility, the central question shifted. Is this a display of power or a statement about cost? The answer reveals a profound and rarely discussed irony in modern warfare. From the outset, Iran recognized that confronting powers like the United States and Israel in a conventional war is a near impossible fight to win. The technological, budgetary, and diplomatic gaps are simply too vast. The strategy, therefore, shifted from matching their strength to draining it through asymmetric warfare, employing cheap, flexible systems to continuously pressure an opponent without needing a single, decisive victory. Amid the global dominance of expensive weaponry and hyper-advanced technology, something has emerged that looks simple but carries an extraordinarily large effect. The Shahed 136 is not just another drone. It has become a symbol of this new era of conflict, earning the nickname the AK-47 of the air. The name is fitting. It is cheap, durable, and can be deployed in massive numbers to overwhelm a foe. Its danger lies not just in its ability to strike, but in the sheer efficiency of its operation. With an estimated production cost of only $20,000 to $50,000 per unit, this drone can reach targets up to 1,000 to 2,500 kilometers away. Its speed is relatively slow, at around 150 to 185 kilometers per hour. But this slow speed, under certain conditions, actually makes it more difficult to detect, especially when flying at low altitudes. This cost-to-range ratio is strategically disruptive. For decades, Western military procurement has focused on increasing the capability of individual platforms, driving costs into the millions or billions. The Shahed model inverts this, prioritizing mass and affordability over sophistication, creating a threat that cannot be countered by traditional quality-focused defense budgets. Technically, the Shahed 136 is a one-way attack drone. It carries a warhead of approximately 40 to 50 kilograms and strikes its target directly. Its navigation is rudimentary, relying on GPS and an inertial system, removing the need for complex operator control in its terminal phase. The design is minimalist: a delta wing, a small piston engine at the rear, and a launch system simple enough to be mounted on a truck. Its true strength, however, is not in the single unit, but in the swarm. Mass production enables large-scale launches, potentially involving thousands of units over a given period, aimed at strategic targets. High-value assets like the Boeing E-3 Sentry and Airborne Command Center become acutely vulnerable if their support systems are disrupted. The same applies to long-range radars like the AN/F PS-117 and mobile systems like the AN/T PS-59, which form the backbone of threat detection. When these inexpensive drones are directed at such systems, the effect is far greater than a single explosion. A disruption to the radar is a disruption to the eyes of the defense, and when the eyes are compromised, the entire system can lose its balance. Behind the explosions and the spinning radar arrays, a quieter battle is being fought, an economic one. This is where the Shahed 136 demonstrates its true impact. A single drone is estimated to cost between $20,000 and $50,000, but to intercept one, a system like the MIM-104 Patriot, using its PAC-2 or PAC-3 interceptors, can expend $4 million to $6 million for a single shot. Other systems can cost from $12 million to $16 million per interceptor. The Iron Dome's Tamir missile, while cheaper, still costs between $70,000 and $300,000. The comparison is extreme. The price of a single Patriot missile could fund the production of hundreds of drones. The irony is stark. Every time a drone is successfully intercepted, it is a tactical victory. But financially, it is a strategic loss. The swarm strategy is therefore key. Instead of relying on a single precision strike, Iran and its proxies can send waves of drones. Air defense systems are forced to work non-stop, tracking, locking, and firing one by one. Military doctrine often calls for a shoot-shoot-look engagement, meaning a single target may require more than one interceptor to guarantee its destruction. Consequently, the cost of defense can multiply in minutes. And this is the critical point. Not all drones have to get through. This dynamic has led analysts to label it a war of asymmetric costs. The contest is no longer about who possesses the most advanced technology, but who can endure the financial strain the longest. When one side can continuously generate cheap threats in large numbers, while the other must spend exorbitantly for each response, the balance of power slowly begins to shift. Looking deeper, the strength of the Shahed 136 is not just its low price, but how Iran manages to maintain that price without sacrificing core functionality. Here lies a rarely discussed secret. A primary factor is reverse engineering. Iran is known for aggressively studying foreign technology, whether from crashed or captured drones, or even fragments of recovered systems. Instead of a direct copy, they simplify the design, resulting not in the most advanced version, but in one that is effective enough and far easier to mass produce. Another factor, initially seen as a weakness, is international sanctions. With access to Western technology restricted, Iran was forced to innovate. It built a self-reliant ecosystem, spanning university research, military industries, and a network of semi-civilian suppliers. This necessity gradually became an advantage, freeing them from dependence on a single foreign source or supply chain. Most interestingly, many of the drone's components are not military grade. Some reports indicate its engine, the MD-550, can be traced to commercial platforms and is even sold on the open global market. The use of commercial off-the-shelf components fundamentally challenges Western counter-proliferation efforts. Sanctions and export controls are designed to police military-specific supply chains. When an adversary can build a strategically significant weapon using parts from the civilian market, it renders traditional non-proliferation tools almost entirely ineffective. This means essential components can be acquired without navigating strict official military channels with significant effect. A drone like the Shahed 136 is not designed to be the best in its class. It is designed to be continuously produced, continuously used, and continuously replaced without imposing a heavy financial burden. In many cases, this drone is designed from the outset to be expendable. What began as a local solution has now evolved into a global phenomenon. The Shahed 136 is no longer a weapon exclusive to one nation. It has changed how the world views warfare. Since its introduction around 2021 and its subsequent massive use in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the drone has proven a critical point. Quantity can indeed rival quality. The paradigm of war has begun to shift. Previously, military strength was synonymous with the most advanced and expensive technology. Now the concept of precision mass is starting to dominate. The idea that a weapon does not have to be perfect, but it must be producible in large numbers to apply relentless pressure on an opponent. Russia is not just using the drone, it is reproducing it based on the Iranian design, demonstrating how easily the system can be replicated and scaled. More telling, the effect does not stop there. The United States itself is reportedly reverse engineering the Shahed and developing its own version under programs like Lucas. In recent military operations, this adapted drone has even been used in combat, marking a major shift from initial underestimation to outright adoption. This American adoption of an adversary's low-cost drone concept is a significant doctrinal moment. For generations, the Pentagon's strategy has been built on technological overmatch with exquisite, high-cost platforms. To now invest in a mass-produced, attritable system signals a tacit admission that this traditional model is no longer sufficient on its own. On the other side, Ukraine is developing cheaper defense methods, from using fighter jet cannons to creating economy version interceptors, an approach now being studied by other nations, including in the Gulf region. The phenomenon is spreading wider still. China is developing drones like the ASN-301 with a similar design philosophy. Turkey and Egypt are also adapting the concept. Cross-border production collaborations are emerging. This is no longer a temporary trend, it has become a new standard. And this is its greatest impact. Modern warfare is no longer just about who has the best weapons, but who can adapt fastest to the new reality of cheap, massive, and sustainable systems. Drones like the Shahed 136 have opened the door to an era where innovation comes not from technological luxury, but from an efficiency that forces all parties to change. At the conclusion of the conflict known as the 40-Day War, one fact began to surface. Iran has not run out of steam. Reports indicate that nearly 40% of its attacked drone stockpile remains, including the Shahed 136, which has dominated recent attacks. This suggests that what has been witnessed so far may only be a fraction of its total capacity. Even more concerning, new variants like the Shahed 136B featuring longer range and more advanced technology, have not yet been fully utilized. The question, therefore, is not about what has already happened, but how great the next escalation could be if this entire capability is truly deployed.